So, Coach, you're 8-0 to start the year. What's the biggest reason that this team has started off so strong?
I think it starts on the mound, 100%. I mean, these guys have done great. They've kept us in every baseball game. Would have kept us in every baseball game regardless of how much we scored. I think we've done a good job of playing fundamental defense, getting bunts down when we need to get bunts, scoring the runners we need to score, and not doing too much or trying to do too much collectively as a whole at the plate. I just think we've played complementary baseball to this point. Every now and then we've went a different direction, but one side of the ball or another part of the game picked us up until we could get back on track. So they've just, for the most part, guys are just doing their job in the moments in which they need to do the job.
What do you see as the biggest benefit in playing in a tournament like this over the course of a weekend like that?
Just change of scenery. I mean, I'd play every game at home if I could. So, but I think it's just, and I think for us it'll feel a little bit like home, being where we're at. But I think it's just getting out there, camaraderie, guys staying in the hotel together, eating together. When you look back as a player, like those are some of your favorite memories, and sometimes you don't realize that until you're out of them. But I just think traveling as a team brings the team together, and getting to play in a great venue like this is big league field is where all these guys want to play, and the reality is that most of them won't ever get that chance. So it's just an awesome opportunity for them and our team to go out there and compete on, against some of the best teams in the country at one of the best places to play in the country.
Conversely, what are some of the challenges? 3 different teams, 3 different days. What are some of the challenges there?
Well, it's just a different feel, and when you play in a series and there's 3 teams, it's sometimes you're getting in the pen for Friday to work on Sunday, and now you're just hoping the team you play the night before that they do that to them. So that's the biggest difference. You don't get a feel for a team. You don't necessarily get a feel for their lineup or their hitters. It's just one shot. So I'm gonna say not necessarily a challenge. It's just different. But yeah, I mean that's basically what it is. And then I've said it a couple times, just no BP like on a field or anything like that. But these guys have been doing that their whole life, so that shouldn't be that big of a change.
A couple questions about Travis Chestnut. How surprised were you when you heard that, hey, they found out he had another year eligibility and getting him back here? Yeah,
it was one of those, another moment I had where I was like, I don't really understand the rules, which I think we've all had a few of those this season. It was funny, like another school's compliance provided the interpretation. I sent it to our people, and they're like, oh yeah, he can play. Great. To be honest with you, he was getting ready to sign in, like he was gonna go try to play professionally or something. I'm just like, hold up. But yeah, completely surprised. It's such a weird thing, right? I'm sure for him personally, felt like he was done a day in it. And we all want second chances in anything we do in life. Man, if I could just go back, and you can't, and then he could. I'm just happy for him, man. I'm glad he's here. I knew some other schools had reached out to him, but me and Travis have a great relationship, and I'm just like, hey, man, shut up, you're coming in. And he had no other thoughts. He's like, well, so-and-so called us. I don't care. We both know you're coming here. Just want you to be here tomorrow. We'll talk about it. Bring your mom. And I'm just happy he's here. He's a great kid, great dude. But, yeah, really surprised.
Now, how have you seen he's a different player having that year away and then coming back? Or a different person?
Yeah, I just think you gain a perspective that you only really gain usually when you're done, right? So I look back as a player in college, I'm like, man, I wish I would have did this or that, or I thought this about that. And it's like our guys that come back, you don't, and he got that, but then got to come back. It doesn't, you know what I mean? So I think he gained a perspective, and I've always been a huge fan of Travis and always been close with him. Yeah, he sees the game differently than a lot of people. He sees it in a really good way, and we're lucky to have him.
And then what do you hope your pitching staff learns from facing a diverse set of lineups into the tournament format? You're facing 3 teams, like you said. What do you hope that they learn from this?
Yeah, I hope they just continue to execute their pitches. They're shaped to their location, and that's it. Not no batter, no hitter. Just get the pitch call, execute the pitch. So I hope they don't make it bigger than it is, right? I hope they don't see a great player on this team or a great player on that team, and they try to make a better pitch or the best pitch. It's just we attack the zone in a certain way, and however coach tells you to attack the zone, attack it in that way. no matter who the batter is and whatever the outcome is, we just want it to be a strike, because if it's a strike, it's in our favor. Or, when we need him to chase, try to get him to chase, but just execution.
With Jake Duer, just last summer when y'all were recruiting him out of the portal, what y'all really see in him that he was a guy that y'all really wanted to take?
It was funny. I knew about Jake and knew he was a good hitter, and then MJ Bollinger came on a visit, and he was like, "Hey, what about Duer?" I'm like, "Yeah, like him. I think he's good." And I remember I dropped him off at the hotel, and I came back to the office, and I just pulled up some video at Duer. I'm like, "Yeah, I like it. So I remember calling him. It was funny. This portal stuff's so crazy. But I think it was a Saturday, and I'm like, "Hey, can you come on Monday?" He's like, "Coach, I'm going to be out of town Monday and Tuesday. I can come on Wednesday." I'm like, "No one just goes out of town. You're going on a visit. Where are you going?" He told me where he was going. I said, "Why don't you come tomorrow?" And his dad drove up and came, and I think that part was great too, just meeting him as a person. And but he just, I think, provides a ability to get hits, and I think he has some power in there. Hit that ball off the left center wall, 102. We're not asking him to go up there and take big swings. We're just asking him to have really good at bats and get on base, and he's done that to this point. And just, the stats really jumped out too. Even in 36 games, you hit 428 anywhere in college baseball with a 498 on base. That's pretty dang good.
How much did some of those Flower Mound connections also maybe come from? You get recommendations from the other angles.
I used every Flower Mound connection I have for all those guys. I owe some people around there some favors. So, Sorrell was a big part in that, obviously. And then once you get one, you use them to get the other, and you're calling their high school coach and all those things. So we got a bunch of Flower Mound boys, whether it be where Richard's from or from Marcus. So.
I guess with one more question on Duer, just particularly through what he did through the fall and the preseason camp, just what were maybe some of the consistent things you saw from him that he was able to win that job?
He's a really good hitter. He's a really good hitter. He hits the ball to all fields. He provides something different, right? So just with this team, you can't just be all slug, right? And we wanted to find a guy that was just a steady piece, and that's what he's been. And been a phenomenal teammate and dude, and he fits in great. The guys love him. We love having him around. So all those things, I think, he just provides a little bit of balance and being left-handed, and handles left-handed pitching well too.
Obviously wins, full stop is everything that you play for, but unique situation weekend here. What is the nuanced things you're trying to find about your club, when you come back here on Monday?
Just hope, for me, it's when you get an uptick in competition, or you get some pressure games, you don't lose your mind. You don't revert to things or do things you wouldn't normally do. You just do what you do and do what we've practiced. That sounds extremely easy until you're in the heat of the moment. And I heard someone say yesterday, I think it was Mike Rooney in D1 baseball, talking about you can't play baseball with no oxygen. When things get tight, you can't feel like no one's breathing. You just got to play and do what you do. I thought that was really cool, and it makes a lot of sense if you've ever been in that moment. Sometimes, they say the air gets let out of the building. You can never have that feel as a player. So it's that. We're going to get tested. We're going to get challenged. Probably be down in some games. Whatever. So what? Just keep winning pitches, keep making pitches, and keep playing. And, I have no reason to believe that we'll do anything but that.
With today's practice day, what will the focus be when you get to the Globe Life, considering you won't have the opportunity to take in and out before any of your games?
So we can do it there, right? So we'll take a bunch of ground balls, we'll take fly balls. They don't let us wear spikes during practice, so for whatever reason. So we'll do our cut and relays, but it won't be the difference between a cut and relay we're going to do today and a game is they'll be running for it. I'll just put them in the spot so you just get a feel of the surroundings. Fly balls, a ton of ground balls, batting practice, and you just try to get comfortable with where you're at. I take the outfielders around. We'll hit the ball off the wall just to see if it bounces weird or in a different way. And you just try to get, on those Thursdays, you're just trying to get familiar with the field as much as possible.
How much does that change or is perhaps elevated when you're doing it in a big league ballpark as opposed to an SEC ballpark?
I think it might be a little cooler, just for the guys, but we don't change anything. And the Rangers are great. They let us in the cage before, and they really give you the run of the place. So we're able to prepare and do as much we're on a time limit, but we pretty much can do as much there as we would do if we were playing at Georgia or somewhere like that. So.
Guessing same rotation this weekend?
Yeah.
And just how are Chris and Wesley progressed in these last couple days?
I think they're doing well. I think they're doing well. I told Rich a few minutes ago, I'm not trying to be secretive or whatever. Like they both did some sort of practice yesterday, and they both progressed. And nobody wants them to play more than them and me, tied for first. So and they're really good players, and we want to get them back out there. Like I think you can kind of feel or see, or I hope you do, like this team has a little bit of edge to it, and those are two of the biggest ones we got, right? So the baseball is one thing. Like, you got to see Chris for 2 days. Like, that dude's good. He's something else. Like, he can play. We want to get him out there, but he's the same guy that ran in after the guy hit the homer off of Shane. He's never really played here, and he walks down that step, and he goes, "They want a dogfight. Let's give him a dogfight." And I'm just like, you know what I mean? So, like, he brings a lot, and you saw Wes, like, he's really good, right? He also, when he gets tagged out at second base, he runs through the guy. So, like, that type of stuff they're going to play well. I know that. But, like, that edge, and I think the guys are doing it, but we need them back for that reason. And, I think we're getting really close to doing that.
Going back to practicing today, is it, how difficult is it, especially, like, for right fielders with the roof and with the positioning of the lighting? Is it that much different playing in there and you have to get adjusted to it, or is it pretty much the same thing?
Yeah, I think a little bit. I think it can feel big, but I haven't seen too many problems. They designed those for major leaguers to play in, and the last thing they want is big leaguers making mistakes because of that. So I think you're just getting used to it. And, I think places like that are designed for you to see balls well and do things. But yeah, you got to get used to it. There's different signages and all this stuff, and it's any place you play. That's why you're supposed to be better at home, right? Because you're more familiar. So just getting used to it they'll get used to it quick. These guys probably don't think about it all, to be honest with you.
Anything else? That's all we got. Thank you.
Jake, it's your first year here, but as one of the veteran position players, how do you help younger hitters settle in early in the games?
I feel like it's all about, the presence in the box, and I've really been helpful with them and being able to understand that it's their box and they need to take control of each pitch, not being rushed, not being sped up, and I feel like they've done an exceptional job of being able to control their strike zone and control what they want to do at the plate.
As a North Texas kid, what does this weekend mean to you and your family getting to play in a big league ballpark, 30 minutes from home?
Yeah, no, it means a lot, being able to watch games growing up there, but also, I've played there more times than I can count, not only in high school, but at other universities. So I'm pretty well known with the grounds there. It's been great. So I'm excited for these guys to be able to experience it as well, because there's a bunch of guys on this team that's never even seen this place. So
to that point, what do you if you were to describe it to somebody who's stepping in for the first time, how would you describe this environment?
It's different. I want to say it's almost like this, but on obviously the big league scale. There's the big stadiums, the lights, the lights are really bright. So being able to play at that environment and see where we are there, it'll really show what we can do again here when it matters.
And then kind of bouncing off of both of their questions, like, does it change the way you prepare physically, mentally, going into that big league?
Not at all. Not at all. I feel like wherever you play, it's always the same game. It's the same people you're playing against. It's the same people you're playing with. So it just matters about, you stick with your routine, and that routine works with anywhere you play.
Mike was kind of telling us a little bit about your journey here last summer. He said you were maybe going on another visit before you came here. Where were you headed, and why did you decide to come here and then commit?
Yeah, so he really rushed. I was actually ended up taking a visit to Arizona State, so we ended up playing them Sunday, so it'll be good. But no, this place has been amazing. Coach Earley has really been in my corner with everything hitting wise. So I'm excited to see what we do this weekend, and playing away from home, it'll be interesting how we play out. So
he said that y'all's connection with MJ and played a big role in him getting connected with you. Just how much did that and maybe some of the other Flower Mound guys that you grew up with play a role in you coming here? Yeah,
so obviously MJ committed here, and that was kind of like a big deal, obviously not only for him but for me, because I'm like, hey, you never know, because I've already got, Caden Sorrell is one of my really good friends from high school. I committed before Wesley Jordan, but Sorrell really was like, hey, this is our guy. And it ended up working out, and, it's smooth sailing since then, so it's been great.
Travis Chestnut's had a crazy journey through his college career? What have, in the time you've been around him and been here, what has he brought to the team, and what kind of teammate is he?
He's a great guy. I mean, you guys could probably hear him up in the press box. You know, he's so loud. You know, he's very, very energetic. But he's always about the team, and he's always the first guy to, if you need to know pitches, hey, this is what I got. If you need to know where you need to play in the defense, he's always there. He's been very helpful for not only the younger guys, but some of the guys who haven't played in this environment. It helps them calm down. You know, he's really, really good when it comes to just staying where your feet are. So he's been awesome.
That first at bat he had in the, I guess it was the Tennessee Tech series, kind of got like a little standing ovation. How much did you see that, and what did you think of that from a guy who was able to kind of come back, which is pretty rare?
Yeah, I mean, it really shows you what the 12th man is. They never forget. And I feel like for him to have a year off and then come back and people still remember what to do with his walk-up song, how to do it, who he is, where he plays, it's really, really awesome. So he's excited, and we're all excited to have that same environment for us when we get there.
You know, obviously winning is #1 here, but what are some things that you need to see to you to come out of this weekend and say, hey, this was success for us?
Honestly, winning obviously is the #1 priority, but if we stick to our program and what we do, you know, our standards, our routines, there's no ceiling. I mean, this Tuesday was really a big win for us, not only for our pitchers to just keep doing what they're doing, but finally opened our hitters up again. You know, we had a slow weekend, you know, it's just the wind, whatever you want to say, but Tuesday scored as many runs as we did, kind of sets us up for the weekend, as in we need to play to that standard and that standard alone, and it'll work out for us.
Did you have any ties to A&M growing up, or did you cheer for A&M at all? Or?
No, not at all. I moved to Texas when I was in 6th grade, and that's when baseball started to really kick up. And so I was more of like who's in the College World Series? What teams are they? Oh my gosh, I never really paid attention to the A&M until I started to get into high school. And once I got into high school, I realized, holy cow. I remember watching the TCU versus A&M regional game here, and it blew my mind. It blew my mind. I was like, that is the coolest environment I've ever seen. And obviously a couple years ago, the Oregon Super Regional, like that's what I want to play in. That's where I want to be, and that's the environment that I think is peak college baseball.
So where are you originally from?
I'm from I'm from all over, man. I was born in LA, lived there for 4 years. Then I moved to New York. Most of my childhood was in New York, and then moved to Dallas in 6th grade. So
Gotcha.
all over.
You know, what was maybe the biggest emphasis for you this offseason and your progression and just the things you were working on to try and win that last outfielder spot?
For me, it was, you guys probably know I broke my foot last year, so that really kind of stepped me back because I was going really good, and then, you know, everything happens, you just get set back. So I got set back, and it was all about finding the player I wanted to be again, and that was someone who was able to just always find a way for my team to be behind me and get the bat on the ball, just get to first base. That's all I care about. It's just moving to the next guy, moving to the next guy. And so this offseason, it was all about finding my swing again, finding out my ability to move in the outfield, seeing how far I can push myself, and just being able to see how far I can run. And it's been great so far. The coaches have helped me out, the trainers, everyone has been super great, and we've actually got me to become even faster than I was. So it's a huge step.
Being so transient, did you grow up a Rangers fan, or did you have a
No, I'm a Dodger fan. Yeah, so
no.
my first ever baseball experience was a Dodger game, and you know, ever since then, you know, I'm a huge Clayton Kershaw fan, and so it's been, and obviously we got Ohtani now, and I think he's pretty cool. So
Do you have a player that you idolize from the MLB?
yes, growing up, I always liked to idolize my swing after Christian Yelich. I've always loved him, and then Robinson Cano. That's a good one. Love those guys.
You've got a pretty sweet tattoo there on your arm. Just what's that about, and what does it mean to you, I guess?
Yeah, I got this in December. It's more about it's for my grandma. She was a tattoo artist, but it's like an Asian and inheritance kind of thing where I kind of put her favorite animal into my favorite animal, and we combined it into a kind of like a I don't even want to know, like a tiger shark. It's literally a tiger shark, but it stands for strength of mind and body and just prosperity. So, you know, it means a lot because she's my hero. You know, she's been through a lot coming over from Vietnam during a really rough time. So being able to have her always with me has been awesome.
Gotcha. Is she still here with us?
Yes. She's still here with us. Sadly, my grandpa passed away a couple months ago, and so she's, I've been trying to reach out to her as much as I can because that was her best friend. That was her hero. So.
Where does she live, and what was her name?
Her name's Ton, and she lives in North Carolina. Yeah, she's amazing.
Jake, if somebody watches Texana for the first time this weekend, what do you want them to walk away saying about this team?
That we're a bunch of gritty young men. That we, no matter what, we get the job done, and we don't rely on the outcome. We rely on our routine, and we rely on the standard of where we play and how we play it. If someone were to come in and see us on practice 1 at the beginning or at the end, it should be the exact same.